I am Peter Hartman, and you're watching The Appreciationist, the pre-show. Pre-show starts at 6:45 p.m. every Wednesday, and it goes until 7 p.m. When the show starts. So if you're here for the show, it'll be starting in about 10 minutes or so. Right now, this is just a period where we get on board, make sure our microphones work, make sure our webcams work, and all that stuff. Make sure we know what we're talking about here today. Get all the administrative work out of the way, or what have you, chit chat, and then we start the show at 7 p.m. So hang in there. The invitation has been sent out. If you followed the instructions that were in the description of the event, then you added the Law of Attraction Montreal to your circles on Google Plus, and you would have received a invitation request sent out just moments ago. So at the top right part of your screen, you should see a little bell on the Google Plus page, and in there there'll be a red number or a red square with a white number. And when you click on that, then you'll see our show, the notification, or if you just see your Google Plus sort of news stream, whatever that's called, I don't know exactly what it's called, but on your Google Plus page, you should see that I have started this Hangouts on Air, this show on your page. And I think some people jump in that way. So the invitation has been sent out, just waiting to see who's going to participate with the show. It was a little late in going out, that's my fault there, but we'll see. Hopefully it'll be at least one person to talk to, but if not, we'll always have fun. Anyway, so if you see me looking around, I'm just getting set up. I make sure I have the words for our jokes and all that stuff. Actually, now that I'm thinking, oh yes, that's fine. Hey, Alex.
Hey.
How's it going?
Good.
Cool.
Totally sorry I missed your stand-up.
Oh, no worries, man. We'll be on again, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. This time I just finished cooking, so I don't have to run around in the background.
Did you know it was mac and cheese week?
Yeah, apparently. Not something I can eat with my wellness competition, though.
Oh, that sucks.
It's okay. I was never a huge fan of mac and cheese.
Mm.
The only ones I've liked are some like super fancy elite ones at some restaurants where they use like expensive cheese and fancy tortellinis and stuff, not like the traditional, mac and cheese.
Yeah, I bet you could probably get some really high-end mac and cheese. I wonder what that tastes like. I don't know. I'm kind of worried about tasting high-end food. Every time I do, it sort of ruins all the other foods for me.
Hey,
Hey, Val.
Hey.
how are you?
Well, yourself?
Fine, thank you. How was it last night?
A lot of fun.
Yeah?
Yeah. It was it was a lot of fun. It was very good. I have to send you the video.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't have very delicate sensibilities, because it's definitely not appropriate for anyone under 80. So.
We'll see. Okay, now, all right. Come on, Kat, get out of the way. Come on. So who was there?
Elvira was there, Beatty, Cynthia, Sam, Tom had his friend Kevin there. Who else? Brian was there. Who would you have known? I think, Joseph was there.
Okay.
Ariel was there.
Wow, lots of people.
I was surprised. Yeah, I was really surprised. I was really surprised by that, but it was very nice. Still getting set up here. Okay. Yeah, it was a little nerve-wracking, you know, being so improper in front of people who are who know me as something else. It was kind of.
Were people shocked?
I didn't get the impression that people were shocked.
Oh, that's...
We didn't talk much about it, and I can't see their shock.
Hi,
Hey.
everyone.
Hey.
Hey, baby.
Hey, Val.
Isn't it nice that when you look outside, it's still day and not night?
Yeah, it's nice. And all the snows on the road and the ice are melting.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so horrible.
Why?
I love it when it's night at 4 p.m. I love the night, so I have more of it.
You are so weird.
One of the worst things about it getting nicer outside. I lose my night. It's not fair. Poor Peter.
I still have my window open. It's so nice.
Oh, I should consider that. I haven't opened any of my windows the whole winter. I just go out if I need fresh.
Yeah.
My family who's visiting, they're like, oh no, the snow's melting. I'm like, yeah, well, take it when it's there, because we're happy it's melting.
If you go in the mountains or in the woods, probably there's still snow.
Yeah, I think they went snowshoeing today on Mont Royal before it was all gone. It's like, let's do it now.
Come to the natural park close to me, Bois de Liesse. It's a very nice park. I see people snowshoeing over there last weekend.
Oh, nice. Have you ever done snowshoeing?
Not yet. I brought my snowshoe last weekend, but actually it was very easy on the trail, so I didn't need snowshoe. But then when I walked further, little further in, I think closer to Saint Laurent, and there are areas, there's a little bit of a hill, so you could use snowshoe.
Yeah, I think it's nice. I haven't done it in a while, but I like snowshoeing.
I did it once. I went to our high school used to go every year do an excursion to the north. I think it was called something Blanche. I can't remember what it was. And we were actually so poor that I didn't have snowshoes, boots, and so my mom told me to use my rain boots to go, and so I went with rain boots up there, and I got frostbite, and everybody played outside the entire time, and I spent the days in the cabin walking on my hands and knees, as my feet couldn't even touch the floor, or I could have lost my feet. So it was actually amazing. I got to be indoors. I got to read, and I had just by myself. It was like I didn't even know I had this in me to not care about. I was like so happy, but the frostbite was pretty painful.
Yeah, I bet.
But it's like a happy memory. It's funny because I really liked it that I didn't have to go. I did a little bit of the snowshoeing, cross-country skiing, and they also had this huge mountain that they built this ice slide on. And I remember I get to the top, and I'm like, like, no, thank you. Like the next day I get frostbite, and I'm like, thank God I don't have to deal with that peer pressure anymore.
What is that sound?
I don't know. It sounds heavenly. It sounds like the product of years of market research. Okay, so we had ambition and we had comfort, right? Was comfort the word? Yeah, it must be. Yeah. Comfort and ambition. And oh no, groundswell was the word. Groundswell. I've been listening to my comedy over and over and over.
Oh, what do you think?
I find it hilarious. I also find it inappropriate and a lot of
You
mistakes.
like that?
Yeah, I know. I really.
Well, when you did that in a comedy club, it fits the environment. It
Yeah,
doesn't.
I think
Yeah.
so. I mean, I hope so.
And it's the first time. It was my first time to be in the audience of a comedy show, so
Yeah, I
it
heard
was great.
that was very interesting to me. Uh, so you had no framework for what was going on, or have you ever seen this on TV?
Just for laughs, yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's a little different, huh?
You know what? I think I've only seen it on TV. I don't think I've ever been.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
now that you mention it, so I'll definitely have to come.
yeah, we'll do it again, and maybe some people will be challenged to go up on stage because it's a really fun activity, but it's a very unique experience. It's like being at the theater, but you can sort of your energy, your laughter affects the performer. It's like maybe more like a hearing a musician. A musician, you sort of it feeds off of the crowd and stuff like that. I guess it was a lot of fun, and you definitely have to do it, Val. If you've never done
Yeah,
it,
it's great. It's like 2 hours of laughing. At least your facial gesture is kind of a freeze in a laughing moment.
exactly.
But I mean, in your honor, guys, before I went to bed yesterday, I was just, on YouTube trying to find all kinds of funny stuff, and I ended up laughing and crying. I was laughing so hard before I went to bed, so that was good.
Good, excellent. That's really good. Yeah, no.
But I'll definitely come next time. I really want to.
Well, we went to open mic. Baby, what you saw was open mic, so that's not entirely representative of what it's like to go to a comedy show because you're dealing with amateurs, you're dealing with people who are trying new jokes. If you go on a Thursday night, Friday night especially, those 2 nights are like really good comedians. They've tried the material out, and you can really be laughing your butt off. But it's kind of like going to see a musician and you don't know who the musician is. There are some nights where it just doesn't work, but when it does, it's like you're dying of laughing. You can't stop laughing, and the place is crowded and full, and it feels like a night out. So don't. I like that you appreciated the open mic night, but don't sell yourself short on the other nights. Even if we don't go out, you guys should definitely don't try it. I think it's a lot of fun. Do you think anybody in our group would be challenged enough to go?
And do it.
Alex?
I would do it.
Alex, I could see Alex doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool. That'd be really cool. I don't know if I could. I don't know. I really love comedy, and so like I've never even dreamed about kind of mixing the two. But if I could see people do open mic, that would be like a lot of fun.
And I don't think there's like anything I wouldn't do. God.
Wow.
I wonder if you would get the bug if you would really like it. Okay, 7:06. Oh my goodness. Okay, we have to start. Today we're talking about intention setting. You guys know about that?
Yeah, well, yeah, I think we talked a little bit about it, but what is La Capitaine? I can't wait to hear about that.
Yeah, that's just a technique. It's a way of thinking about the problem that is more visual. And so I thought it might help. So that's just a little sort of tip that I like to give. But when it comes to intention setting, I just like talking. I wanted to talk about it in the context of what happened last night. It was actually very interesting. But if anybody has any questions or comments about setting intention, what that's like for you, if you even understand what that is, I think it's very important. So we'll see how it goes. If it's not a long conversation, not too bad. Okay, so I think it'll be the three of us. I don't think Sam's trying to get in. No. Okay, you guys ready to start?
Sure.
Well, I'll introduce you guys, and I suppose we'll volunteer for, well, we're only three. So who wants to go first for a moment of appreciation?
I'll go.
Val will go first. Second is
I go second.
Ready second, and Alex is ready for third. Awesome. 1, 2, 3. Okay, here we go. Let me just make sure here. Okay. Hi, my name is Peter, and you're watching The Appreciationist. Thank you very much for joining us. Tonight's show, we are talking about intention setting. We're also going to be bringing up a technique called La Capitaine. But before we jump into that, let's introduce our co-hosts today. Beatty, Valerie, really good to see you. Thank you for being here. Alex, thank you very much for being our guest here tonight. We're going to have a fun conversation, a fun time. Look, the most important thing we do on the show, you guys know what it is. It's called the moment of appreciation. And that's when we look back at the past 7 days and we recognize something that we appreciate, something that we can feel good about. Or it could be something that wasn't so great that we can see value in today. The more we exercise our appreciation muscles, the better at it we get. So let's get to it. Who is first? Valerie, I think.
I am, yes. I've got two. I'll try to keep them brief. I've got three actually, but I'll stick to two. I have family visiting right now, my niece and her husband, and I'm really happy I get to spend time with them. And this weekend we went over to the States, and at some point we were just having lunch in a really nice hotel with a great view of the mountains and the lake and everything. And I don't know, I just had this huge moment of appreciation, and I got up and I went to each of them and gave them a kiss, and I said, I'm just so happy that I get to spend quality time with you. And that was it. So that's one. And then this morning, I mean, I know I talk about yoga often because it's on Wednesdays, so every time it's really fresh in my mind. But again, we had a really nice moment of relaxation, and there was some singing. And we don't have too many men in the class, but there's this gentleman, which I'm sure is over 60, who's there, and he sings once in a while. And I know for sure today he probably didn't know the song, but he still joined in at some point, knowing that some of us really like to hear a man's voice in the class, because some of us have said that it's like our father rocking us or something. And so I just felt that it was I don't know, it just felt like it was all kindness on his part to do that, and so it was beautiful.
Oh, that's really nice. Oh, you've had some nice moments this week. That's really good. And
yeah, I had more, but I'll stick to those two. I'm sure some of you might talk about the others.
Okay, cool. And the drive went well?
Oh yeah, the drive was beautiful. We had a bit of snow, at first, but then on Monday when we came back, it was gorgeous. It was a gorgeous day. It was, it was really above zero, so it was nice and sunny, and it was easy to be outside without freezing. So it was great.
Really awesome. Really cool. Thank you for sharing that with us, Valerie. Up next, we have our good friend, our co-host, Beatty.
My moment of appreciation would be last night. It was Peter's first stand-up comedy show. I was invited. It was kind of last minute, but actually yesterday morning, since morning time, I was thinking, what do I do tonight? I want to do something. And I was like, maybe I can find something in the meetup group so that I can find an excuse to go downtown. And then, I think it was 5 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I got this invitation. I was like, yes, I'm going. So it was perfect. And it was my first time to be in the audience and my first time experience at a live comedy show. It was great. It was a great experience. It's a lot of laughing. Something I don't always get all the jokes, but most of the jokes are still very interesting. So the idea is great. And afterwards, I went for dinner and some drinks with Elvira. She's not here today, but we had a great talk. We had a good time. So it was fun last night. So I really appreciate that. And I was thinking about those things that people do for the first time, because yesterday on the stage there were quite a few new comedians, probably their first time too. Many of them were kind of shaky. I mean, I can see their hands shaking, and they sort of mentioned it. It wasn't, just only 1 or 2 of them. It was maybe quite a few of people were like that. And I remember the first time, well, you can have the first time of doing anything, even those small things. At my current job, the first day I went to the office, the first time I tried to use the coffee maker, I was nervous because I don't want to break the coffee maker. I mean, it's just a coffee maker, but still, it's first time, so I get nervous. And the first time I used the dishwasher at work, I used the wrong soap, so I totally ruined the floor with a whole bunch of bubbles.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, first time it could go worse, but normally you learn a lot from it. It was all the first times are great experience for everybody. So yeah, Peter, congratulations on your challenge, and you did it well, and it's great. It's very encouraging.
Oh, it was a lot of fun having you out there, and I'm really glad that you enjoyed yourself. It's always more important that people have a fun time, and that only adds a cherry on top. So very good, and thank you so much for coming out. You're not saying Elvira is not here today because you guys went out drinking, right? You're not making that.
No, she didn't even have alcohol.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. I was like, she got a hungover because of water. We miss her, but I'm hoping she's having a good time. Thank you for sharing that moment of appreciation. Really cool. Alex, you're up.
Okay, so last night I was in my own first time on stage thing where I went up for a table topics competition for Toastmasters, where for those who don't know, you get a question at random and you have to make a speech on the spot. That's like a couple minutes long. And I didn't win, but the guy who beat me, or who came in first, was like 70 and has been doing Toastmasters for like twice as long as I've been alive. Didn't take offense, and I didn't feel I did that well. And after I performed, I sat down and I was like, that was the worst thing I've ever done. But then after like 5 minutes of I'm amazing affirmations, it's like, no, you know what? At least I did it, and obviously the first time wouldn't go well. The people who like judged after told me that I did quite well, and some of them thought that I was pretty close to the guy who came in first, even though I didn't even get second. There's only 4 people, so whatever. And yeah, I mean,
What was the subject?
It was, if an alien came to the planet Earth, what quality of humanity would you teach them?
What quality of humanity would you what?
Teach them.
Oh my goodness.
That is good. Wow.
I talked about resilience because we've survived so many horrible things. We've probably survived their crappy alien overtaking too. But yeah, so I appreciated that I felt terrible and failed, and then I got over it, and everything was good.
Yay! Yay! Congratulations, buddy. Very good. Very, very good. I
want to know how long of I am amazing. How long of those affirmations did it take for you to feel better?
10 minutes.
10 minutes?
I know exactly how you feel. You know, I'll tell you a little secret of mine. I think I've mentioned it before, but I really, really love it when people do things and it goes well. I love it even more when it doesn't go according to plan, and you just learn so much more. It's so much more of a meaningful experience, and that's where you really learn what you're made of. And very proud of you for going up there. Good job.
Thank you.
What a question! My goodness, I think I would have been like just deer in the headlights if I got that question. It's so deep.
Yeah, we should have a discussion on that.
It's a philosophy class. Well, look, thank you so much for sharing that moment of appreciation, Alex. Really glad. Looking forward to seeing you doing more of that stuff. We're actually hoping to do karaoke on the 21st, I think, of March. So maybe we'll have a competition and you can redeem yourself there.
Yeah, right. My amazing singing voice.
Very cool. You have a nice speaking voice. What are you talking about? I think it's very good. My moment of appreciation was, well, I had two. Very interesting. We had dinner at Cynthia's place. Val, Sam, Alex, and I, and that was a lot of fun. It's one of my favorite things to do, to just like be out with people that you're comfortable with and just sit and eat food and to talk and learn about people. I had a blast. I can't remember the last time I did something like that. Yeah, it was a few months ago in Mexico, but before that, I don't really do that often. And it's a part of, making friends and increasing your social circle that I never really think about. Having something to do on a Friday night or something like that. I never really think about those aspects because I'm always busy. So that was a lot of fun. And my God, the comedy club last night, geez, it was a blast. It went better than I expected. I recorded the whole thing, and normally I can't watch myself for like weeks or sometimes months afterwards. But I've been just addicted to watching the video and cracking myself up. And I should, right? Because at the very least, it should be hilarious to me. I wrote the jokes. And so it was like watching a comedian where you liked every single thing that they said. And I was like, well, yeah, of course, because it's me. So I'm really looking forward to it. Here's the thing. I wanted to tie it into the intention setting because I had this weird experience where when I was on stage, it didn't feel like new. I had thought about it so much that I was just sort of acting out my thoughts. And I didn't really get that nervous. And everything went pretty much according to plan. And it was on one level, it was amazing, and another level, it was just sort of matter of fact. I had heard it said that when you are prepared for your next step, it's not going to seem special to you anymore, or at least not as special because you'll be prepared enough for that step. And I've often done things not being that prepared for it. And being prepared for something felt completely different, and I finally understood on a more visceral level what people meant when I heard it said that it's a natural, logical next step. You just feel this natural progression forward. It doesn't feel like you're jumping in the deep end, right? It feels like it's making sense. So I wanted to talk about intention setting because just by having that experience, I feel like it would be so much easier if we learned how to set our intentions even stronger. Because I was terrified before going on stage all week, the whole time I was going to postpone, I was going to cancel stuff, and I really didn't want to do it, but I just literally moved my body forward, like through time and through space. I just moved it forward like a crazy person. Like I felt like a crazy person. I was like, what am I going to do? This is going to be horrible. I can't believe what I'm going to. And I really felt the full effect of intention setting. So we're going to get to that in just a second, but you guys know what's next, right?
Joke of the week.
The joke of the week, indeed. So we have to choose between two words. We had ambition and groundswell. Ambition and groundswell.
Ambition.
I heard one. Okay, Alex said ambition.
Yeah.
Gibby said
Ambition.
two. Okay, Valerie.
Yeah, groundswell.
Oh, if I got a vote, I'd be voting for groundswell, Valerie. But the majority speaks. Okay.
I love new words.
Yeah, me too. Well, we'll have it for next week. What word should we have for? What was my other word? Oh yes, I wanted the word allowance. You guys like that word, allowance?
Yep.
I thought it was a good one. Okay, ambition becomes.
I can tell Alex is thinking of something troublesome.
What word were you gonna say?
Nothing yet. My brain didn't go there.
You're just putting on your Dennis the Menace hat there.
He's looking for trouble. I can tell.
Okay, ambition, perfect. Okay, good. Here we go. Okay, so this is oh my goodness. Okay, this is it's a little open mic-ish, it's a little risque. You guys okay with it?
Sure.
No.
I'm sort of taking the
Yeah, right.
Okay, here we go. Okay, we'll just do it, okay? If there are any children watching, if you're watching this with your children, just pause it for just a quick moment. We're going to read this funny joke. It's not that horrible, but, I don't want to get in trouble. Okay, here we go. An old man goes to the doctor for his yearly physical, his wife tagging along. When the doctor enters the examination room, he tells the old man, "I need a urine sample, a stool sample, and a sperm sample." The old man, being hard of hearing, looks at his wife and yells, "What?" His wife yells back, "He needs your underwear."
Ew.
If you said ew, it means you understood the joke. It's good.
Okay.
Okay, you can bring the kids back in the room. Don't worry about it. It's a little gross. Maybe kids would like that better. I don't know.
I was gonna say I think kids would love it. Gross, they like that.
Okay, perfect. So in the segment, what a great idea, I point you towards an app, a service, a product, an idea that is worth your attention, because whatever we give our attention to becomes a bigger part of our experience. Did you guys know it was Mac and Cheese Week?
No.
No.
There's such a thing?
Yes, it's new. It's new. So these restaurant owners, they decided to put this together. It's done, by restaurant owners for restaurant owners. So the restaurant owners are sort of encouraging establishments to make mac and cheese. If they don't have it on their menu, to make it. That celebrates Quebec. People like to celebrate their cheese using Canadian products and things like that. So I think it's actually a fun way to discover the city, learn about new restaurants, and have tasty meals. You can find information about this on. Wow, I don't have the link here for some reason. Anyway, it'll be on our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Appreciationist. You can just search for The Appreciationist if you don't find it there. Mac and Cheese Week. I had to edit a video this week about it. Somebody was making the mac and cheese. Oh, it looks so good. If I hadn't already purchased my food, I think I would have definitely gone the mac and cheese route. You can really get some really good ones. Have you guys ever had a good mac and cheese?
No.
Yes.
No? Betty says no. Valerie says yeah. Do you remember what it was? Or what you had?
I had no idea. I mean, it was there was nothing special about it except, I mean, yes, in a way, it was homemade. I have no idea how they made it. I'm sure with cheese, and I don't know what kind, but it was so good. I mean, it was in Vermont. A friend of a friend made it when she was sick, and he brought like, I don't know, so much of it. So we just shared it, and it was fabulous. It was really nothing like what I'm used to, so it was very good.
Yeah, you can make it very well. I know Alex told me about one that he ate. What was the high-end one that you had?
It's this brunch restaurant on McGill Court. We went when my boss was visiting from New York because it's expensive and we wouldn't normally go. And I was like, oh, mac and cheese, but the place was like tablecloth and wine glass. It's like, why would they have a mac and cheese? No, it was super high-end, fancy mac and cheese. I don't remember what was in it, but it was delicious.
Yeah, I think you mentioned something about like tortellini for the pasta
Yeah. It was like traditional mac and cheese kind of thing, so it was nice.
That sounds like it'd be pretty tasty. I gotta try something like that. Anyway, so check out Mac and Cheese Week. It's what the city of Montreal is doing. If you've never heard about it before, it's because it's new, and I like new things. I like it when companies try new things. Perfect. Look, today we're talking about intention setting. Intention setting, and I want to talk to you about a technique called La Capitaine. What do you guys want to do? Talk about intention setting first, or you want to hear La Capitaine?
La Capitaine?
My shirt is ready.
Oh.
I really love intention setting as a topic because it's important, and it's a far more sort of, it feels like a more action-oriented thought. So there's some thoughts that feel sort of passive, and there's some thoughts that feel sort of active, like you're constructing something, like you're setting forth a future sort of event. That's called intention, when your thoughts are directed towards a manifestation of something actual, something that's actually occurring. And so I spend a lot of time imagining, and then I spend other time sort of actively engaged in what I'm going to do next, intention setting. Now, I was trying to come up with a process that sort of described the way it felt, at least in my mind, when I'm setting an intention. I feel like I'm the captain of a ship, okay? Hence the name La Capitaine. I say La Capitaine because I'm here in Quebec. I like the French language. I thought it was a memorable way to describe the word, so it went from captain to La Capitaine. And, you know, the captain on the ship, they have to deal with the first mate, they have to deal with their engineer, they have to deal with everybody on the ship, right? There's more people sending instructions to the captain on a regular basis. And it is actually the captain's job as the head of the ship to take in this input, this information, and to distill it and to make a choice from it. So it's not like this person is ignoring all the other voices on board. They are actually engaged and paying attention to the voices no matter what they're saying. If the first mate is agreeing with them, they have to pay attention. If the engineer is disagreeing with them vehemently and yelling, screaming, "You can't do this, you can't do this," it's also important for the captain to listen to them, right? It's the value of listening to all the input. Now, when you're going through your life, have you ever had the experience of feeling like you had two voices or different voices inside you? One person telling you can, the other person saying that you can't, one person saying it's not enough, the other person saying this or that. Have you had this feeling like you're having this congregation in your mind where you're sort of, interacting with all these different aspects of yourself?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, it can get kind of like, confusing, and sometimes people get bogged down. They don't know what to do. And I sometimes feel like because they feel like maybe the other voice is more important. That the other voice is in charge, and maybe they're not listening to the voice that should be in charge. Now, what the captain has to do is very particular. The captain has to put himself into a mindset that says, okay, I'm going to take all this information, and I am going to make the best decision possible. Right? I'm going to synthesize this information, and I'm going to do what I think is in the best interest of the ship. Now, he's not setting himself the challenge that says he has to absolutely be right. Why? Because he can't know whether or not he'll be absolutely right. It's not possible for him to know if he'll be absolutely right. He can only make the best decision he can from where he is. So I was watching a movie with Tom Hanks. It was about Somalian pirates. Why can't I remember the name of the movie?
Oh, I know which one you're talking about, but I don't remember the name.
It's Captain Phillips. And, Captain Phillips, he's on the ship, and I'm not going to give anything away, except to say that at some point there's a disagreement on board with their next course of action. Okay, this is where the idea came to me. The next course of action, it was a drastic decision, going towards what appeared to be danger or away from what appeared to be danger, or one course that was dangerous and the other course that seemed to be the safe way to go. Now, everybody on board had their own opinion, strong opinions about it, but it came down to the captain. The captain had to make a decision. The captain had to decide, because the decision-making power is given to the captain. And even though the other people on the boat didn't like the decision or not everyone agreed with it, they had to do what the captain says. Now, can you imagine setting in your own mind a particular authority to the voice in your mind? Okay, so you have all these voices. You have the nay voice, the one that tells you can't, the one that tells you can, and all these things. The one that's very pessimistic, the other one that's very optimistic, and everything in between. But you create this new voice that says, I'm in charge. I am in charge of the intention of this ship. I am directing the ship. And my sole purpose is to get us to our destination. I want to get us to our destination as safe as possible. Now, everything that you're saying, I'm going to be filtering it through the condition that says, is it going to lead us towards our destination? Do I believe it will lead us towards our destination? Now, when I was going to go on stage for the open mic night at stand-up comedy, I had another voice that said, just don't do it, right? Like, don't, Peter, don't go, don't do it. It's crazy. There's no reason for you to do it. You don't really have to do it. There's other things that you can do. You can postpone it. You can get more ready and all that stuff. But then I said, will that get me to my goal? And as I analyzed it, I realized by listening to that voice, I would be moving away from my goal, or at least I'd be standing still. And even if I went forward and it didn't go the way I liked it to go, that I would be making progress. So even though the other voice was louder and stronger and had more emotional impact, I ignored that voice and listened to the small, singular captain's voice that said, forward, ever forward. Now, can you see the logic or the value, or is it crazy to think that you can set a voice in your head that is in charge of your intention, that it's the captain's job to continuously keep their destination in mind, as opposed to worrying about this or worrying about that? Can you see the value in something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's kind of funny, right? Because sometimes we spend too much time arguing with ourselves, and I just sort of gave up on arguing with myself. I said I could argue, but what is my intention? Let's just set it. And once I set it, even though I felt like changing it, I just continued down the road. Do you think that you could do something like that, set an intention, and even though you change your mind, to still do it?
Yeah, I just have to remember. It's often the problem. I mean, we have the commitment segment or something, and every week it helped me to, and that's kind of when you're talking about intention. That's how I feel about it. This is what I think about is when I make a commitment every week, and doing it once, like finding just one and keeping it all week, that helps a lot, because otherwise I would have so many intentions, and this is crazy. But so remembering, first of all, yes, I like that, because it gives clarity, and it's almost like, okay, quiet everybody, or let's relax everybody, and then, as you were saying, what's my end goal, and go with that. And there's something else that I read this week. It was a quote by Maya Angelou. I don't know it by heart, but what I got from it is like it's nice to like ourselves and to like what we do, but I thought what was important in the quote is also how we feel about it. And so when I make a commitment, or when I decide something, like if I'm the captain and I decide on something, also asking the question, how do I feel about it? Because I could go, oh yeah, well, I want to eat a bunch of cookies right now. That's what the captain wants to do. And yeah, right, but how do I feel about that? So, or how will I feel, about that? So that also, so it's remembering all of this,
And I like that word, because remembering is literally remembering. It's reconstituting. It's bringing back together all the pieces, so that you have a clearer picture. And I like what you're saying. When I think about the captain of our ship, of our real life, I think about the general intention, the overall general intention. That's where you're heading for in life. I don't think about it necessarily only in terms of getting to a particular goal, but so my general intention is to be brave. My general intention is to be courageous. And any opportunity that I have to be brave or courageous, I'm going to do my best to go for it, to do it. And so, I wasn't really thinking about doing stand-up, but the opportunity presented itself, and so I had already made the decision to do brave things. And so I moved forward. So I think about it in terms of a general intention. I think when you set the general intention, then when you start focusing on your smaller goals, let's say weekly goals, monthly goals, whatever it is, then I feel like that decision is already made. You know what I mean? Like if I decide to be a clean person, then I don't have to decide, well, should I do laundry this week? Should I set that intention? That intention is already set by the overall mandate, right? The overall umbrella. And so I would like it if people sort of took charge of their ship and set for themselves a general intention through which all other decisions will be filtered. And I say that because I think it'll be easier. Like, I think it'll be easier to remember and to reaffirm your attention if you have this general thing. So let's say, I'm going to ask you guys for an answer in a quick second. If you can tell me what you might describe as your overall general intention for life. Okay, so think about it for a minute. If you could, I'm not saying to set it now and it has to be that way forever, but the first thing that comes to mind, what do you think is your general overall intention in life? Right? Mine is to be brave, because I recognize that I have an overwhelming amount of fear, and I don't believe that I can get rid of that fear, and so I'm not going to really try too hard to get rid of the fear. I'm going to try to face the fear and go into it, and everything I do is sort of colors that, so that I can do a simple job in life. There's a simple job that I can do. I can just do video editing. That'd be simple, but it wouldn't help me to conquer fear. At least I don't see it as a way to conquer fear. So I'd much rather do public speaking, even though it's harder, because it goes towards my overall intention. So where is your ship going generally in life? Like, where do you want it to go? What is your overall intention? If you can, today, take a snapshot. I know it could change. Don't worry about that, but how would you describe your overall intention? Who's brave enough?
Okay, I know I want to be happy. That's just the general goal. I try to go towards that goal every day, or every year maybe. And every year I have a different resolution, I suppose.
Good. I really like that, being happy. I think that's very important, right? So somebody might suggest, oh, you can do this job and you'll get paid more, and you'll ask, well, will it make me happy, right?
Yeah.
That because that's how your decisions will be made. Someone will say, oh, you should do this thing. It'll really teach you to challenge yourself, and you'll say, yeah, it'll teach me to challenge myself, but will it make me happy, right? Not everybody has to do stand-up. Not everybody has to, do skydiving, karaoke. You know what I mean? So will it make me happy? So I think that's very good, right? It's very interesting because I actually don't use that as a qualifier. I don't ask myself, will it make me happy? Because it's not my intention. The happiness to me is like if I stumble onto it, then I'll be happy. But mostly I want to be brave, and I'm hoping that in bravery I'll find happiness. But if somebody tells me to do something and I go, will it make me happy? Well, I better not ask myself that question, or else I probably wouldn't do most things. And so it's very good to know ourselves in that way. I think being happy is a very strong and very good general intention.
Well, the background for me to decide on this was I grew up trying to compromise myself and please other people. That was my habit. So that's why.
Very good. I like that. That makes much sense. What about you, Alex? You have a general intention? What makes you do all your crazy things?
You know, someone kind of asked me that recently, and the conversation kind of cut off. And I guess it comes back to the very general life goal of being my best self, which, unless I feel like I try everything, there's no way to really know how good or bad I would be at something, or what I would enjoy versus what I assume I wouldn't enjoy. Especially to talk about my past, like Betty mentioned, which is that I didn't do a whole lot in the past. And it was like everything was just posting. And now I feel like I figured, oh, I'm good at this, and then like public speaking. And, oh, I'm good at improv, and I'm good at this, and I'm good at this. So it's like being good isn't good enough, like unless you actually enjoy it. So that's one thing. So it's not like just because I could be okay at something, I would pursue it. But it's like trying things to actually sort of push myself and see what human limits are. And I definitely agree with the fear thing too, because I'm terrified of doing things. So
I really like that, and it makes a lot of sense why you would, sometimes I sit around and I go, why would Alex do that? I mean, why bother? I mean, why do it? And of course I know why. I know the logic behind it, but it's good to know that your general intention is to be your best self, because, well, one, it's very revealing. It really shines a light on your behavior, and it makes sense. I really like it. I think it's a very strong sort of general intention to be my better self. I really like it when it's general like that, right? There isn't a set sort of, I want to be this. It's like, I just want to be my best self, and that can be anything. And it's not restrictive. It's not limited in any way. You're determining who your best self is, right?
Yep.
That's very good. I really like that. What about you, Val?
I'm actually wondering how different that is from Alex's. For me, it's being my true self. And I was wondering, because I agree with being your best self, but I don't know, it feels different.
Yeah.
I don't push myself as much. Or I don't know, it doesn't feel the same. Maybe less action, but more of a feeling and not being afraid of being really myself in many situations and circumstances, and even discovering, I don't know, some layers about myself that I don't even know about. I used to do dancing, and every year I would, when we had a show on stage, it was like it's 2 or 3 minutes each dance, and it's how many minutes do I get to really live it, to the fullest, and not worry about who's watching, and so really fully enjoying it and being totally myself in it. So that's an intense example in terms of how I felt it. But yeah, it's really, being true to myself in terms of being myself as much as possible. And but I don't know. I don't know the difference between being my best self. I'm not quite sure. It feels like less action and maybe taking less risk, but I'm not even sure because it's kind of risky too sometimes. So.
Well, I actually that's a very interesting question. I don't see it as the same, right? Your true self and your best self. They do feel very different. Alex, maybe what would you say, if you could say, what would you say is the difference between your best self and your true self? Because I like this talk about like discovering layers of yourself that you didn't know. It's like uncovering what is. It's understanding more deeply what is there as opposed to creating more of you, sort of thing.
Well, I can see. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you can go ahead.
Sorry, hold that thought. Okay, I can see the similarity because when Val says she wants to be her true self, she has to do things, different things, to discover what she likes, what is true to her heart.
I like that. Yeah, that makes sense. What about you, Alex?
I think it's kind of like one is who you are versus what you can accomplish. Like if you're kind of already happy with what you've done and now you're just sort of settling on sort of letting it soak in and figuring out what it means to you versus like always sort of working on becoming your best self and seeing what you're capable of.
What you're capable of. Yeah, I kind of see it that way too. I see both ways. So they're similar in essence, but in practice I think they're a little different. Yes, you have to do things in order to discover your true self, but the value is provided in the discovery and not the doing. In the being the better self, the value is provided in the doing. I sort of see it like, let's say you're talking about land. You have two people. One says, I want to be able to cultivate this land as best as I can. I want to be able to enrich this ground. I want to see what I can grow here. And the other person is saying, I want to sail across the sea and discover more. I want to reach beyond what I already know, and I want to go further than I have ever gone before. The satisfaction is in the going and the becoming, and the satisfaction for Val is in the discovery of what she already is. I mean, I don't know if we can say absolutely that they're different, but I do like the feeling of even how little they may be different. It reveals something about Val. I'm sorry?
And I think that by reaching for your best self, you probably discover your true self, and vice versa. By being your true self, you may, find your best self as well. That I think it includes the other. Yeah.
And you'll find happiness ultimately. You'll be a happier person once you're engaged with your purpose. So let me ask you this: when you look at your life, can you tell? I can already tell, but can you guys tell how your actions have been influenced by that general intention?
Oh yes.
All right, the things that you do.
I'm older than most of you, but so I've got more experience in that area, maybe. No, I'm teasing.
but I definitely see it. Well, for one, the three of you you have strong personality types, and you're very engaged, and the steps that you guys have all taken have been uniquely yours, right? Like I really feel like the activities Alex does are actually different than the activities Beatty does. Beatty seems to do more physical things. Alex is more things to sort of construct the psyche, and Val is like this, not only discovering more of who she is, but discovering more of who other people are in the process. And so I see the actions that you're doing. To me, it looks like your overall general intention is really guiding your ship. Like it's strongly guiding it, right?
Yep.
I don't know, maybe I'm reading into it.
I agree. It's just that I don't think I was that aware of it, but now, yeah, I mean, it's obvious. But it's nice to, now it's like, okay, well, thank you, Captain. Now I know you're there.
Exactly, and this is the point I want to make. If you reminded yourself more frequently, if you were far more consciously aware of your overall general intention, it's not just by accident, it's not by default, but you are setting it every morning. This is my intention, this is my intention. If I'm brushing my teeth, this is my intention. If I'm eating food, this is my intention, right? Then you might, I think, wouldn't your decisions be a little more honed and efficient, wouldn't you find yourself doing less things that sort of meander you off and more on point?
You know, it's funny because there's something I've been thinking about, and I'll tell you more in person later, that I did feel like it was turning the ship in the wrong direction a little bit, at least in terms of general purpose. But now that when you've said that about general intention, pretty quickly my mind was like, okay, well, let's not worry about that one thing. Let's just drift past it, and, you know, if it's important, you'll find another one of it later.
Very good. Yeah, that's exactly it. It helps when you're sort of debating with yourself. It helps when you might feel guilty or regret something. You just sort of sail past and you go, okay, that's fine, that happened, but it's not part of my general intention. This is the way I see it. I see it that when you wake up in the morning, you'll have different experiences. When you wake up, maybe will ask yourself, what do I feel like eating? What would make me happy to eat, right?
Yeah.
And Alex would be like, what will make me my better self? What food will make me my better self? Right? And Val would be like, food, no food, who cares? I'm going to be happy anyway, right? I'll eat whatever I want, and I'll find joy in whatever I'm eating. You'll be eating breakfast in the morning, but you'll have different experiences because of where your ships are going. Do you know what happens to me when I wake up in the morning and I'm thinking about food? I don't. I never think about food in the morning. Almost ever do I think about food because my ship is about being brave and facing my fear, and there's no fear when it comes to food. Now, when I do interact with food sometimes, I mentioned this. Maybe I hope I've mentioned this. I flip knives, right? You guys ever hear that I flip knives just to see if I can catch them? Because I'm looking for that thrill of facing something that is fearful. Now that affects me when it comes to my food, and so when I came up with this idea of La Capitaine, it started to make much more sense the way people operate. I realized if I could figure out someone's general intention, then I could sort of figure out maybe the best solutions for them, right? If Val, if you're helping someone with their self-esteem, let's say, someone might suggest to them, oh, do stand-up comedy. But because you know their general intention, you'd be like, no, stand-up comedy might be the worst thing for you. She's not interested in fear-facing. She's interested in being quiet and learning more of who she is. You know, it sort of helps you guide not only other people but yourself in terms of what should I do next. I don't know. Maybe I'm too thrilled with my own idea, but I really like it. I think it's very important. I think it's a way of setting your intention that is stronger and more concrete and more meaningful. It's like somebody giving you a pocket full of peppercorns. You guys know about peppercorns?
Yeah.
So you're talking about peppercorns. You don't know anything about peppercorns. You're like, well, how is this going to help me? But if you know what peppercorns can be used for, what food they can be put in, then what you have, the resource that you have, becomes more meaningful. And we all have the ability to set our intention. But when you realize how important it is and how much it guides all of your decision, every one of your decision, even eating in the morning, then you're going to be more emphatic when you set it. When you set it. I mean, the amount of times I did not want to go up on that stage, the amount of times I didn't want to go and do public speaking in front of anybody. You know, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to go and talk in front of people. This is going to be crazy. But I already set my intention, so I'm just going to go. I hear the voice and I go, yeah, I hear you. But, you know, I'm the captain. Let's go. Anyway, we could talk about this all night. Alex, you have something to say?
Yeah, I read an article recently that was talking about a one-word change in your mindset of, oh, I should help that person. Oh, maybe I'll help that person. Everything should be must. If it's something that you want to do, then you must do it. It's not like, oh, well, maybe I should do my laundry. It's like, no, if you know you must do your laundry, and then it changes sort of the pathways in your mind, so must is a much stronger word than like maybe or later or whatever. So that's something I want to try. Next time I'm like, should I do this? It's like, no, I must do it. If it's something that's in my intention.
That's exactly it, and that was what I was just about to say. That's very, very, very good. You want to telling yourself you must do something, but pressuring yourself to do it. I wouldn't agree with that. But if you are, here's the point I want to make. When I was in church, we used to read the Bible. In the Bible, it used to say, "Let your yeas be yea and your nays be nay." So don't have any middle ground. Don't be like this maybe. If you're gonna go to dinner for someone, you say, "We're going to dinner," or "We're not." And what that does is that it forces you to start paying attention to what you're going to do. I'll give you a very quick example. When I read a book, if I start a book, I have a rule that says I have to finish it. Have you guys ever heard me say this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I have a
I've
book,
heard
I start it and I have to finish it. Now, at first that sucks because now I'm reading books that are horrible. I'm stuck on a book right now that's terrible. But when I finish it, then it makes me more diligent about picking my books. So if you're going to commit to a life of I must, that's very good. And what that's going to do is that it's going to teach you more and more the things that you're going to say I must on, as opposed to forcing you to do things that you don't want to do. It's becoming more clear-minded about the action as opposed to forcing yourself to do anything. But that must, changing even the words that you use in your mind, very, very important. Very good point there, Alex. Look, is there anything left to say? Oh, there is one thing.
What's for dinner?
What's for dinner? What did you guys eat in the last 7 days that was noteworthy, that was interesting, that you liked?
I don't think I could describe it exactly. Maybe you guys can help me. But what Cynthia made on Saturday was really good. It was, I mean, Peter, you had a lot of it. We all had a lot of it. We could just keep eating it. I know there was chocolate in it, and
it was cocoa,
and peanuts, and it was so good.
It was very. Alex, do you know what it was called? Because I can't remember. I don't know. But it was very, very. I mean, that was mine too. That was very, very good. What about you, Alex? What'd you eat? That was good.
Well, I don't want to use that answer, but there's a place here that gives you like $10-ish meals that are like homemade called Fresh Mint, and it's like serves
called what?
Area.
Sorry?
Fresh Mint.
Fresh Mint.
It's only like downtown-ish. And yeah, it's for like $10 to $12. You get like a pretty well-portioned meal, which is really good in the old port, where a meal is like $20. And it was like a jerk chicken with rice and beans, and it had these baked plantain chips.
Mm.
And, like, it kind of tastes like a banana that's less sweet, but either way, it was super delicious, especially mixed with the chicken. It's good stuff.
Very awesome. Oh, that sounds yummy. Bailey, what'd you have for dinner?
I have a lot of stuff in the fridge. I'm debating between mahi-mahi or smoked meat.
Smoked meat.
Very different.
What's mahi-mahi?
It's a fish.
Oh, a fish. Oh, that's tough.
Fish.
That's tough. That's tough. Well, good luck. I hope it tastes very good. I actually, I went out for Subway the other day, and as I'm going there, I'm like, I'm going to spend money on Subway because I'm lazy. This is crazy. So I decided to make my own Subway. So I went to the grocery store. I picked up all the ingredients. But one of the reasons I wanted to go to Subway so badly was because I wanted their Chipotle sauce. I really love the Chipotle sauce. It's so good. Because we had Chipotle at Cynthia's place, the Chipotle cracker, it was in my head. I was like, I really got to get Chipotle sauce. So I went around trying to look for it. I couldn't find it anywhere. The only thing I could find was this can of actual Chipotles in sauce. Not the Chipotle sauce, but in a type of thing. And so I told myself I'm going to try to make Chipotle. And I did! And it was amazing, way better than Subway, and I have it in large quantities. I can have it as much as I want. My God, do I love having something to learn. My God, do I love feeling like this. Not enough! It just makes me do these crazy things. Anyway, if you want to make Chipotle sauce, it's just Chipotle. It's mayo, it's a white balsamic vinegar, and it's delicious. Very spicy, but very delicious. Anyway, I'm going to go eat that tonight. I'm going to let you guys go. Had a really fun time. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you to everybody who's watching out there. Hope we have a fun time.
Bye, guys. Have a great week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Bye. That was a lot of fun. I got to let you guys know we're doing our calendar right now, so if you'd like to suggest some events, community discussions, anything that you'd like to do, please send us an email. You can send me an email at The Appreciationist, what was it again? Peter at theappreciationist.com, or you can just post a comment anywhere that you can find us on our meetup page at meetup.com/TLOA-MTL. That's meetup.com/TLOA as in the law of attraction, MTL as in Montreal. You can also find us at theappreciationist.com, our Facebook page, facebook.com/theappreciationist. You can find it, just post a comment here on our YouTube video, Google Plus video, anywhere that you're finding us, anywhere at all. Twitter is at Appreciationist. You can send us a direct message there or tweet us. We'd love to get your interactions. If you want to pick the word for next week, we have Groundswell going up against Allowance. So if you want to vote for that, we're going to be putting up the joke of the week there. March 21st, we're doing karaoke. I'm told, that's what I told. Our producer was telling us this. So March 21st, we're doing karaoke, something else to get you outside of your comfort zone, get you in front of people, get you singing, feeling more connected to life. I think it'll be a fun time. I think it'll be a sweaty time, but I think it'll be a fun time indeed. What else do we have upcoming? I can't remember off the top of my head. Go to the websites that I told you, meetup.com/TLOAMTL. I want to thank you one more time for spending another evening with us, and tune in next week for another exciting episode of The Appreciationist with our lovely co-hosts, Beatty, Valerie, and Dimitri. Have a nice time. Have a nice night. Take a picture of your food. Hashtag Appreciationist. You can get going now. You can stop. It's fine. I was doing stand-up comedy last night. I'm still kind of pumped. Still kind of on. You know, the camera's on me. Don't want to stop talking. I kind of wonder how long people sort of listen to me afterwards. If you're in the background hoping the video will end, it will end in 5, 4, okay, maybe just about now. 0. Bye. Stop broadcast.